Chacon had it knocked out of his hands from behind. Great job of somebody punching the ball out. We didn't see who did it, but the recovery's made at the 16-yard line, and the Yellow Jackets have the football.
Great job by Blue Ridge, and that's the first fumble recovery Blue Ridge has got, but the fifth fumble that we've seen Winslow let loose of. They just have not been able to hang on to the ball today. Blue Ridge really now has to do something with the ball, okay? They've been stopped the last 3 drives. They've got to make a move right now, get the ball down the field, and try to go into the locker room with some momentum going.
The actual official spot might be the 17-yard line. Handoff to the tailback. That is not Nate Miles. He's spelled for a moment, getting rest. And the handoff goes to Tristan Johnson. Johnson the carry, and he gets, I'm going to call it 5 yards on the play. 5-yard pickup, 2nd down and 5 coming up. 6 minutes, 10 seconds left first half. Yellow Jackets send Tenejeth out here on the near side. Give to the fullback, straight up the middle. We think that's another one of those Tenejeths, though we're not positive. Carrying the ball, number 23. The 2 Tenejeths on the roster are Clay Tenejeth and Jared Tenejeth, and we are going to say Clay Tenejeth.
32. Clay?
Yep, and so on that last carry, 3-yard gain for Tenejeth. And a 3rd down play coming up, 3rd down and short. 2 yards to go for the Yellow Jackets. We're tied 6 apiece here approaching halftime. Yellow Jackets will split a man to the right, 1 to the left. I formation behind Spencer Hall. And the handoff is to Johnson. Johnson hit immediately. And he's just knocked down at the line of scrimmage, so no gain on the play. So here we go now, 4th down and a couple coming up. Do the Yellow Jackets give it a go? 4th and 2. They were thrown 25-yard line.
And Winslow doing a great job up front, stopping the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets. Looks like it's the 4th series that Blue Ridge is going to have to punt the ball away. Just has not been able to move the ball and get a first down, trying to drive it up the middle. Size-wise, Winslow looks to have a slight advantage over the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets, but they are just tough and putting plugs in the hole.
C.J. Chacon drops back for the Spencer Hall punt. And Spencer is going to do anything but punt it at Chacon. He angles it to the near sideline, and it's such an angle that it ends up being about a 13-yard punt. And Winslow has beautiful field position. They're going to get it. That's the 4th consecutive 4th consecutive 3-and-out for the Yellow Jackets. The offense scored a touchdown on their opening possession. They drove 77 yards. And since then, they've been able to do nothing. That Winslow defense has been stout against the Yellow Jackets. And Winslow gets great field position at the Blue Ridge 39-yard line.
Winslow doing a great job. A lot of hustle. You see a lot of energy out there. Winslow is excited to be in the position they're in right now. More time to get up on him to cause that loss of downs, but great job by Nate Miles putting some pressure in there.
Some great inside-out defense by the Yellow Jackets. 3-man defensive front for Blue Ridge. Here's the quarterback to throw. Trace Cake. He delivers, and it's off the hands of his receiver. He's trying to throw to his running back out of the backfield, C.J. Chacon. Chacon could not hang on to it. It goes incomplete. 2nd down, 13. Coming up. No, actually, it's 3rd down and 13 on the way.
Yeah, missed opportunity there by the Bulldogs because Chacon was open. He had a lot of room. He had a nice pass on that. Looked a little high and behind him. Wasn't able to bring it down. He bounced it around 2 or 3 times. Lucky didn't keep it in the air a little longer as Blue Ridge was catching up to him while he bobbled that ball. But blown opportunity there. I think Chacon could have got the first down had he made the catch.
Trace Cake, the quarterback for Winslow, is only 1 out of 5 for 2 yards. Now the throw again. Hit on the release, and it is almost intercepted. Defensively, they're making a diving attempt on a deflected ball because one of the defenders hit the quarterback on the release, and the ball just blooped up into the air. Nick Jones laying out for it and almost intercepted it. The Yellow Jackets could not come up with it, but they do force a 4th down. 4th and 13, here comes the Bulldog punt team, in spite of the fact that they're sitting at about the Yellow Jacket 42-yard line.
And Blue Ridge certainly not playing for the punt. Well, there goes Miles back.
Chacon's kick is very short. This one is going to get just a few yards past the line of scrimmage. Goes out of bounds. A marker is down on the far side. This is a 6-yard punt if it stands. The official coming over, the referee coming over to talk to his officials and see what they come up with. Illegal procedure. I think the Yellow Jackets are going to decline that, and they do. They're going to get great field position.
I would think so. Good opportunity. There's still plenty of time in the half for Blue Ridge to move the ball down the field. They just need to get something on offense going. Like you said, that's 4 series in a row. They've been 3 and out. Haven't had a first down since the first series of the game. So Blue Ridge really needs to get something going here and see if they can't figure out what's going on offense.
3:37 on the clock. Second quarter action. We're tied at 6 apiece. Blue Ridge gets the ball back here. Remember, their last 4 possessions, they've gone 3 and out. Spencer Hall to throw. Nobody there. Dumps it. Outlet guy, Nate Miles. Miles goes out of bounds to stop the clock near a first down, but short of it. Short by about a yard. C.J. Chacon drives Miles out of bounds, and a 9-yard pickup on the play. That was a great job by Spencer Hall, who stepped up. He was going to try to throw on about a 3-step drop. His guy wasn't available over the middle, so he dropped back a couple of more steps and then hit Miles as he flared out of the backfield. That was just well done.
Yeah, nice job checking down his receivers and finding the open guy, his relief guy. Made for a nice play.
I formation behind Spencer Hall. Give to the fullback. Tenejith has it and nowhere to go. First guy that got there was Akeem Foster. He led the way, got some help from his teammates, but Tenejith just had nowhere to go. Look at the spots.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a tremendous spot for Blue Ridge. Play, and they eyeballed it and said he is short. I'm a little surprised that Coach Belshie is not asking for a measurement right here. He might come up short, but it's going to be, if it's short, it's by an inch or two. The yard marker is way behind the ball. I'm a little confused about all of this exchange. So a yard gain on that play for Tenejith. Third down play. Handoff Miles, the tailback. You're going to stretch him out left side. Slips a tackle. First down and out of bounds on the Winslow sideline near midfield. So for Miles, it's a 4-yard gain on the play. But more importantly for the Yellow Jackets, they move the chains. The ball is resting at midfield. And the Yellow Jackets have plenty of time with 2:41 on the clock, especially if they're going to play that way. You get the ball in the hands of your senior, Nate Miles, and he does a couple of very heads-up things. He gains a first down on that play, stops the clock out of bounds. And previously, on a 9-yard pass reception, he stepped out of bounds to stop the clock. So heads-up, smart offense by the senior. Yellow Jackets, 3-man backfield, shotgun set. Nate Miles in the backfield gets knocked down. And it's Akeem Foster who was able to knife in and get a hand on him. It's going to be a loss of a couple on the play, and Foster got hurt. He is holding the groin area. He comes up limping and in a lot of pain, but that was a great play by Foster, who saw the play develop and cut through a hole in that offensive line to get a hand on Miles, who almost went down about 5 yards deep, but was able to scramble for only a loss of 2. So -2 on that last play. Second down play. Spencer Hall, deep drop. Lots of pressure. Rolling around, gets a great block, steps up, and he is going to get knocked down. The clock is going to keep rolling inside 2 minutes. C.J. Chacon came up to make a tackle on him. Now, I would have looked for Spencer to step out of bounds on that play, but he elected to get a couple more yards and stay inbound. So about a 3-yard gain for Spencer on the play. Ball is inside Winslow territory, the 49-yard line, and the clock is counting down to about minute 25 and still going.
The Winslow Bulldogs are just really fired up, playing with a lot of energy, a lot of emotion.
Third down 9. Spencer Hall rolls out to his left, sets, throws, and it's deflected, incomplete. That was good defense. Great makeup speed by Trace Cake. Miles was the intended receiver, but Cake came from a safety spot to deflect the ball, knock it away. Pass defended, incomplete, stops the clock with 1:08 left in the first half.
Great play by Tate as he dove for that one to knock it away, but that's one you got to know you have, because you don't catch that, you don't knock it down, the receiver is going to take that and go a few more yards with that ball, because there wasn't anybody behind Miles on that one, but a great job by Tate knocking that one down.
Fourth down play coming up, 4th and 9 for the Yellow Jackets. They bring the punt team on. With 1:08, they don't want to give Winslow, they don't even want to give them a moment's opportunity, and so Spencer Hall will kick, and he will kick away from Chacon. It goes out of bounds at the 30-yard line, the Winslow 30. So with 1:01 left here in the first half, and the Black Diamond Auto Glass halftime report on the way, the ball belongs to the Bulldogs. And they'll bring their quarterback Trace Cake and his offense back out on the field. We are tied 6 apiece. 1:01 left in the first half. Well, Rich, the Yellow Jackets did manage to get a first down on that last series, but in their previous 5 series now, not counting their opening possession, which netted them a touchdown, this Yellow Jacket offense only has 1 first down.
Yeah, they've been playing a tough game and just have not been able to move the ball at all. They're doing a lot of trying to drive it up the middle, and Winslow has proven that they are not going to let you do that. You don't have very big running backs for Blue Ridge. That shot up the middle is going to be tough to squeeze a Miles through there. Tristan's got, I believe that's Tristan we're talking about. Yeah, Tristan's got 30 pounds on Miles, but he still hasn't been able to amass much, especially if he's just coming back off injury as well. So Blue Ridge is going to have to figure something out, is how are they going to get that ball down the field, because so far Winslow has had an answer for everything they've done.
Well, Winslow has the ball. They throw incomplete on first down after setting up at their own 30-yard line. Now a give up the middle to Akeem Foster. Foster was shaken up defensively a few moments ago for the Bulldogs, but he looked okay on that carry, and he got 4 yards out of it. 4 yards to the Bulldog 34-yard line. The clock is counting down, and B.J. Little, head coach for the Bulldogs, looks content to let the clock run out. They're going to have to snap the ball one more time here in the half, and I don't think the Yellow Jackets are going to spend a timeout. They do have 2 timeouts to give, but it looks like they're content to let this one go as well. The Bulldogs have to snap the ball one more time. No. Timeout taken by the Winslow Bulldogs with 13 seconds. Now they threw me a curveball. I didn't see that one coming. If you're going to take a timeout, why not take it when there's 30 seconds on the clock? And it's not what they elected to do.
It's a strategy.
It is a strategy. We'll take a 30-second radio timeout. Final 13 seconds of this first half coming up in a moment. These teams tied at 6. The Power 90.
Arizona Stone, serving the White Mountains since 2008, is the leading provider of fine masonry products. Stone Brick Pavers. Come visit their showroom with over 100 designs of stone brick pavers on display. Located conveniently behind Sholo Ford on Adams, Arizona Stone has stone brick pavers in stock for your project today. Their showroom hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. and Saturday by appointment. Call 537-8600 or visit ArizonaStone.com today.
Lobos are playing their football tonight. Sounds like a Panda Express kind of night for the Lobos on their road trip. The Bulldogs from the timeout elect to throw on the far sideline, and it's incomplete. Broken up by the defender. Nate Miles breaks up the pass intended for C.J. Chacon. It was in his hands, and then Miles came out of nowhere like a missile to dislodge the ball from the...
Arizona Stone, serving the White Mountains since 2008, is the leading provider of fine masonry products. Stone Brick Pavers. Come visit their showroom with over 100 designs of stone.
4 guys to beat, but a marker is down. Miles, 2 markers are down, and Miles gets dragged down on the far side in Winslow territory. Time expires. Chacon, the punter, was the guy who brought him down, just grabbed him by the jersey and swung him down on that Winslow sideline. But 2 markers come down. And in the vicinity of those illegal blocks that you normally see on the punt receive team. We'll take a moment to find out what the officials have to say. A lot of excitement there for the fans. Huh? That was set up well.
Yeah, set up well. Nate kind of delayed, waiting for that wall to set up because it wasn't that long of a punt. Kind of bounced right underneath him. caught the ball, waiting for the wall to go. Winslow, a little bit more swivel on the neck there as they're watching out for that big hit after what happened to one of their other guys, Darian, earlier in the game.
Yeah, they're heads up, aren't they? That was a nice wrinkle on it, though, of the Yellow Jackets. The far side of the field was the wide side, and that's where you expect to see the picket fence, but they set it up on this side. Now, the marker is thrown against the Yellow Jackets. You got illegal procedure on Winslow, and you got a block in the back on Blue Ridge, and that's normally offsetting. We should see this punt again, is what we ought to see.
We're waiting on the officials.
The half cannot end on a defensive penalty, and there was one. Defense officially on that. Once the punt is away, the defense is now Winslow, and they're going to do it all over again. I think they're going to put the 6.7 seconds back on. The clock says 15 right now. You got to put something on there. So far, they haven't put anything on.
Well, and you got to look at it. If time has ran out, which it did on the play, there's no reason to even punt this. You kneel and get out of here.
Well, I guess you're right, and that's what they do. The quarterback, Trace Cake, takes a knee for Winslow, and the first half comes to an end. A hard-fought battle. And we are tied at 6. Blue Ridge 6, Winslow 6. We are going to take a timeout. The Black Diamond Auto Glass halftime report is on the way. Stand by, everybody. We'll return to Blue Ridge on the Power 95.7 Hot FM Game of the Week, presented by Hatch Toyota.
Triple threat high school sports coverage. Radio, TV, internet. Only at Power 95.7.
2008 is the leading provider of fine masonry products, stone, brick, pavers. Come visit their showroom with over 100 designs of stone, brick, pavers on display. Located conveniently behind Sholo Ford on Adams. Arizona Stone has stone, brick, pavers in stock for your project today. Their showroom hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. and Saturday by appointment. Call 537-8600 or visit ArizonaStone.com today. Arizona Stone.
Power 95.7.
Winslow tied at 6 here at the half. The Yellow Jackets scored on their very first possession of the day. And it was a touchdown that capped off a 77-yard drive. That drive only required 5 offensive plays to get it done. The big play, as that series began at the Yellow Jackets' own 23-yard line, the big play was a 61-yard running play. Nate Miles carrying the ball from his own territory to deep inside. In fact, he took the ball from the 31-yard line, the Yellow Jacket 31, got it all the way down to the 6 on that carry. There was a penalty that pushed the ball even further down to the 2.5-yard line. And from there, 3 plays later, Nate Miles got the carry to go in 1 yard out. That came at 8:12 on the clock in the first period. So it was the Yellow Jackets' opening possession of the football game. They were able to punch it in for 6 points, and on their ensuing 4 possessions, the Yellow Jackets went 3 and out and punted every single time. Interesting, you just don't see that from Blue Ridge, so it all speaks to how this Yellow Jacket team is still trying to find themselves. The new head coach, the new system, and they're working through some things, but they have fought hard, they have battled out there, and it's a team that we've seen a lot of physicality, a lot of good play out of this Yellow Jacket team. It's just that they haven't yet found their footing, and right now they're tied with Winslow at 6 apiece. The Bulldogs, by the way, got their score in the second quarter. It came with 10 minutes and 3 seconds on the clock in that second period. The Bulldogs capping off a 60-yard drive with a Trace Cake 3-yard touchdown run. He's the quarterback from Winslow. He took it in himself. The point after was good, but then a penalty moved the team back. They had to try to kick again, and then they failed on the point after kick after that penalty. So that penalty took a point off the board, and it took the lead away from Winslow. We are tied here at 6 apiece at halftime. Other games are going on. Snowflake has taken on Estrella Foothills. We're going to get an update for you on that here in a minute. We'll also have an update on the Sholo game. Sholo hosting Tempe Prep tonight. Round Valley is on the road. They are at Williams, and Round Valley is in domination mode right now. They're getting a lot of work out of a lot of different guys. And we'll give you an update and a score for you from Williams here coming up in a bit. St. John's has already picked up a win. They've knocked off Chinley 27-7 was the final score on that. We're also going to get you an update as soon as we can on the Mogollon Mustangs. They are on the road at Tohono O'odham. And look for a big halftime score when we get that for Mogollon.
Power 95.7.
That game. But we'll have all that for you coming
Power
up.
95.7.
This is the Black Diamond Autoglass halftime report. It continues right after this.
$19.92.
Sholo leads Tempe Prep 22-7, and on the road for the Snowflake Lobos. Snowflake at Estrella Foothills. The score there at halftime: Estrella 7, Snowflake 6.
Tough.
Lobos down just a bit at halftime in that game. So it sounds like another tough, hard-fought battle going on out in the far West Valley. And let's take a look at a couple of other items of note here at halftime. The stats look like this. The Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets have racked up 98 yards of first-half offense and a grand total of 2 first downs.
Ouch.
Yellow Jackets have, really the
One
how much of the
run.
60-something% of their offense is that 61-yard run by Nate Miles on that first drive of the game. 4 times we saw the Yellow Jackets go 3 and out in that first half. So 98 yards of offense. That includes 89 yards rushing, 9 yards passing. Blue Ridge has been penalized 3 times for 26 yards in that first half. And as I mentioned, 2 first downs, 11 minutes and 22 seconds of possession. So these teams are fairly even as far as time of possession goes. There's really not a lot to talk about on as far as individual numbers go. For the Yellow Jackets, Nate Miles leads them on offense. 9 carries running the ball, 69 yards, including a touchdown. Spencer Hall, the quarterback, is 1 for 6. Not his type of first half. 9 yards throwing the football, and he has completed that 1 pass to Nate Miles. It was a 9-yard pickup. So this Yellow Jacket offense still trying to find their way. Tristan Johnson, 3 carries for 11 yards. Clay Tenijeth, 3 carries for 5 yards. Spencer Hall, 2 rushes for 4 yards. That's what the Yellow Jackets look like in the first half. For the Bulldogs, well, they picked up 77 yards of offense, so it's all defense out there today.
All defense.
5 first downs for the Bulldogs, 12 minutes and 38 seconds of time of possession. The Bulldogs have run the ball for 75 yards and thrown for 2 yards. These teams have combined for 11 yards passing tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Just keep that in mind. For the Bulldogs, they've been penalized 4 times for 18 yards. They have, listen to this, fumbled the ball 6 times. That's been kind of the big deal for Winslow. I don't know that that's the difference, because I don't know that they would have done anything without fumbling that ball. But on the other side, it's where Blue Ridge has not taken advantage of those opportunities where they haven't covered up the fumbles. The Bulldogs have. It was a fumble. Trace Cake, the quarterback, is 1 out of 8 for just those 2 yards mentioned. Running the football, C.J. Chacon has had a decent night, 5 carries, 28 yards. Akeem Foster, 5 carries for 17 yards. Those guys lead the way for the Bulldogs in that first half. Rich Jones, quick comments from that first half of play.
Yeah, first half, like you said, defensive battle. Blue Ridge really has to come out and figure out how they're going to move the ball, maybe mix things up a little bit, a couple of those little short rollout passes that they hit Miles on just before the half there, and try to move the ball that way a little bit. They're just trying to force it up the middle too much. Blue Ridge got to figure out how to move the ball. Winslow, they've got to figure out how to hang on to the ball, because that's really slowed them up, put them in bad position, fumbled in the backfield, things like that. I think those are the keys for each team.
Derek Simmons, SportsZone123.com. You've been down on the field. You got that up-close look at things. How was the battle down at the field level going? Hold on, let me give you now your mic is hot. Go ahead.
I mean, these 2 teams are absolutely duking it out, and one thing that I see from both sides of the ball, mainly Blue Ridge, is not able to tackle. They need to wrap up. Get your arms around whatever you got to do. Bring these guys to the ground, because there have been multiple occasions when they could have dropped them for a loss, and they turn into positive gains. Also, Spencer Hall's stats are not doing him justice. I believe he's put the ball right on the money almost every time, and drop passes have been huge for Blue Ridge.
No question about it. Hey, let me ask you about C.J. Chacon, the Winslow running back, who wears jersey number 30 out there, and he's had a pretty good game for the Bulldogs in that first half, hasn't he?
Well, I'm actually surprised he only had 5 carries. I thought he had more carries than that. Maybe that's because we've seen him on special teams on a couple of huge returns. But he's, if we were keeping broken tackle stats, he would be up in the range of probably 8 or 9. He's breaking tackles on every single attempt, and on a few instances he's picked up more than 5 or 6 yards when he should have lost maybe more than 5 or 6 yards.
Great battle going on out there, and we've got a couple of minutes to the second half kick, so we'll break away here. That's our final comments on the Black Diamond Auto Glass halftime reports. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. The second half kick is coming up. More play-by-play from Blue Ridge High School in just a moment. Halftime score, Blue Ridge 6, Winslow 6. We'll be back in just a bit to get this one going again. The Power 90. Game of the week. Be sure to stick around throughout the night and join us for the Ace Hardware Scoreboard Show. That's the show the coaches call, and you can only hear it right here, Power 95.7 Hot FM, and online at sportszone123.com. Halftime score, Blue Ridge 6, Winslow 6. We're about to get the second half going and underway. The Yellow Jackets are going to be on offense to start this second half, and they're going to hope to get the offense kick-started. 98 yards of first half offense is not Blue Ridge like Rich, and then you got to consider that 61 yards of that came on one run of the football.
They just have not been able to move the ball. There's been a pretty heavy battle right there on the line, and neither team has really gained an advantage on that front line. Blue Ridge has just got to figure out a way to mix things up a little better. They're not going to move these Bulldogs out of the way and just push them around. We don't see the line surge that we've seen in the past. I don't think Blue Ridge has the line speed that they've had in the past. There's a lot of different things that they're battling with this season, and it's going to take them some time to get it figured out.
I would look for the Yellow Jackets to start putting the ball in the air a lot more in the second half. One completed pass in the first half, and just not a lot of opportunities for Spencer to throw the football. I would look for Spencer Hall to get a lot more active pitching the ball downfield, and we'll find out how that goes. The offense is going to be out on the field in just a moment for the Yellow Jackets. C.J. Chacon is going to kick the ball off for the Bulldogs, and here's a high kick. That's the kind you got to fair catch that. This one might get recovered by Winslow. Almost did. Finally, Tristan Johnson is able to cover up the ball for the Yellow Jackets. Got to be heads up on that. He was getting instruction from one of his coaches on the sideline telling him, yeah, you got to come up and fair catch that ball. He let it bounce. It is recovered at the 25-yard line, and Spencer Hall, the Yellow Jacket offense, will bring it out from there. 1st and 10, Blue Ridge.
And Blue Ridge not starting off good as they're missing a player in their offensive setup.
So just like that, come right out of the locker room at halftime and forget your assignment, right? That doesn't bode well.
No, that does not look well.
1st and 10, Blue Ridge, they're on 25-yard line. Second half now underway. 4-man front defensively for the Bulldogs. Here's the pitch. It's Nate Miles. Goes left, cuts it back. He got hit initially by the outside linebacker, and then Akeem Foster from his inside position got there.
Bulldogs
helped
showing
out
great
defensively.
speed.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Sonny Bagodi on the tackle.
Yeah, the Bulldogs are showing great speed on defense. They're just clogging those holes up pretty quick. Linebackers are doing a good job filling in what the linemen can't get to. And Nate Miles, you know, early on it looked like they had a little bit better spacing, able to pick his way through the inside. But since that first drive, we just haven't seen him get that opportunity.
That was a no gain at last play. 2nd and 10. Spencer Hall rolls out to throw and throws it away. And I don't think you can do that. He threw this one 15 yards out of bounds. You can't do that. You have to throw in the vicinity of a receiver. You know, at the NFL level, you can get outside that tackle box and throw it away. College football. But when you're playing high school ball, you have to throw toward a receiver. And this is intentional grounding, which is a penalty and loss of down on the play. So it'll be 3rd down and long after they mark off, I think, a 10-yard penalty against the Yellow Jacket offense. So it is an incomplete pass.
And Coach Belshey's out there discussing why he called that an intentional grounding. There was a receiver over here, but there was just no way in the world he was ever going to catch that, you know, throwing it, you know, 15, 20 yards over everybody's head.
Yeah, you know, Coach Belshey is out there arguing the case, and he's arguing for his player, and you've got to do that. But Coach Belshey knows that there's just nothing you can do about that.
Well,
and you can't throw the ball 15 yards out of bounds.
No, that's.
Near the line of scrimmage, the original line. Here comes 2nd down and 10 to go for Blue Ridge.
You say, Floyd, that's one of the things you see with the new offense going in for these guys.
Here's the veer. Option, left side, pitch to Miles, 1st down, marker down. Thrown by the back judge, and when that gets thrown, you're normally looking at somebody, maybe a block in the back. The old-time clip, they're going to call a hold, and it will come back. The marker was thrown at about the Winslow 49-yard line, so if they step it off from there, it's going to be 2nd down and a long way to go. 2nd and about 19 for the Yellow Jackets. They do call the hold, 10-yard penalty, so Nate Miles' very nifty run is going to come back. That was a great play call on the veer.
No, I thought that was a very good play call. I was just surprised where that flag came from. I think that official, the back judge on the defensive side, threw that flag probably about 25 yards.
Yeah, he got got some airtime on it for sure. Second down 19 for the Yellow Jacket offense. They'll go single setback, put Miles behind Spencer Hall, the quarterback. 3 receivers to the left and a solo man here to the near side. That's Adam Padilla. Going to set up a screen on the near side, and Winslow has nothing to do with it. They blow it up. Pass completed to Nate Miles. But the defender for Winslow, who sniffed that one out from a mile away, was Sheldon Smith. And he was able to get through there and cause a 5-yard loss on that screen play. So first the penalty, which was a 10-yard penalty, now the 5-yard loss. And the Yellow Jackets on third down are facing 3rd and 13.
Yeah,
23, sorry.
Yeah, Winslow did a real good job that time sniffing that screen pass out. Hall just didn't have time to get rid of it and take the time you need to set that up.
Spencer to throw, rolls out left, steps up with a lot of pressure, buys some time, scrambling around, and he gets rid of it to Nate Miles. On the run, Miles has gotten most of the yards needed back. It was 3rd down and 23, and Nate gets tackled out on the Winslow sideline, short of a first down by about 7 yards. But that was a pretty exciting play, and there's the combination. Those two guys. So let's see, 4th down and 7 coming up. That means it was a 16-yard pass play.
And great job by Spencer Hall avoiding the defense. They were in, they were all over him. He was scrambling, looking around, checking his back, because he got hit pretty hard last week from the backside on one of those scrambles like that. So good play by Spencer Hall to get the ball out there and get some yards.
Exciting combination, those two guys. Unfortunately, the 16 yards just wasn't enough, and here's the punt team. 4th down, Spencer Hall, the left-footed punter, gets it away, rolls inside the 10-yard line. Chacon picks it up at his 9, slips 2 tackles, and he's got room down the sideline. Far side, 1 man to beat. There he goes. He's gone. Chacon across the 30, the 20, the 10. And the Yellow Jackets give up a 91-yard punt return to C.J. Chacon. You knew if you kept punting to him, it was a matter of time before he took one back. He's just that kind of player. And he goes 91 yards against the Yellow Jackets.
Like you said, Floyd, great run by Chacon, but Spencer didn't really punt it to him. He punted it down the far side. Chacon had to go over to it. It bounced. It bobbled around 2 or 3 times. The coverage just wasn't there. There was nobody down the field with any speed to get on Chacon. He gave him plenty of time to pick it up and then weave his way through the crowd, make it down the field for a touchdown. Just great play by the Bulldogs, and Chacon picking that one up. But it almost was like, okay, we're not going to punt it to him, so nobody had a sense of urgency to get down there and cover the ball.
That's not the guy you want to put the ball in the hands of and give him an open field. Once he crossed midfield, I mean, he was just jogging. There wasn't anybody anywhere close to him defensively on that punt coverage team for the Yellow Jackets. Winslow tries for 2. The pass is behind the receiver, incomplete. And Winslow has a 12-6 lead over the Yellow Jackets with 4:45 on the clock here in the 3rd period. We'll take a timeout. Stand by, everybody. The Power 95.7 Hot FM Game of the Week is presented by Hatch Toyota. Winslow the kick, Blue Ridge the Chinese fire drill on the return. The guy who had a beat on it to return for the Yellow Jackets was Blaine Hebuck, and he came up, slipped on the turf. The ball hit him in the feet, And so it was recovered by Josh McCray, but that slip up by Hebuck, that leads to an injury. He comes off the field hobbling. This turf is just not in good condition. The Yellow Jackets just put it in not long ago, and it hasn't taken root yet. The Yellow Jackets going to throw on first down. First and 10, they're on 23-yard line, and they complete a pass on the slant near side. That is a 12-yard pickup on the play. Pass complete to, I believe, to Jarrett Tenageth is the guy on the receiving end of that pass. So Spencer Hall to throw again. I kind of surmised that coming out from halftime, the Yellow Jackets might throw a lot. Here's Spencer letting one go, and he's going to get called for another intentional grounding. He throws it away on the near sideline. There was a receiver in sort of the general area, and that was Tenageth. But he had curled to the inside, and stepping up against the pressure, Spencer threw away from the curl that went inside. He threw to the outside, and his pass was caught on the sideline. Well, they're going to pick the flag up and say that one of the other officials said, yeah, there was a receiver sort of in the area.
Yeah, I almost felt that was almost a spike play, because when they didn't call the intentional grounding on Winslow, Belshie went out there and argued intentional grounding some more. So it was it was almost one of those, I'm going to throw it on you anyways.
Second down and 10. Spencer Hall, the quarterback, throwing. It's intercepted. Intercepted at the 45-yard line by Akeem Foster. He brings it back 5 yards, and the Bulldogs get a turnover, and they've got the ball at the Yellow Jacket 40-yard line. Spencer was rolling to his left, had a man coming across the middle of the field that looked to be a pretty good pass until the defender stepped right in front of it and took it away.
And Floyd Cake is down again. I didn't see what happened. I looked over there. He was back in the secondary. Wasn't really involved in the play or around. I didn't see any Blue Ridge players around him, so I don't know if he slipped in that turf that we've been talking about. A little loose out there, a little slick out there or something. But Tate is now down on the ground. And could just be a cramp, but he wasn't getting up at all.
Yeah, still looking at him right now. They're going to Winslow will send their offense over to the sideline for a minute while they tend to the player. And he looks like he is in a lot of pain with cramps. Doesn't seem like a cramp night, does it? A little chilly, not particularly dry.
No.
It's kind of cold. We're going to put the Yellow Jacket team over on the sideline. So we'll take a timeout with 4:09 on the clock here in the third period. Winslow 12, Blue Ridge 6. Stand by, everybody. The Power 95.7 Hot FM Game of the Week presented by Hatch Toyota. You do? Game of the Week. It's presented by Hatch Toyota. Welcome back, everybody. Floyd Simmons, Rich Jones, Derek Simmons here on the play-by-play call. And the Bulldogs from the injury timeout will hand off to C.J. Chacon. And he gets 6 yards out of it. He went off that C-gap left side. 6-yard pickup, second down and 4 coming up for the Bulldogs. We have an update for you from Williams, where Ethan Workman has scored 3 touchdowns today for Round Valley to help put his team up 60-6 midway through the third period. That over Williams. Handoff straight up the middle. Akeem Foster carrying now, and he doesn't want to go down. That's Winslow, core of running backs. These guys are just hard-nosed, tough-running guys. That was a 9-yard gain.
Yeah, Akeem Foster just dragged Nick Jones 5 yards before he finally went down, and that's you got to get a little more help on that. Blue Ridge got to get 2 or 3 more guys hitting that guy earlier in the tackle. That way you're not dragging guys around on the field and getting those extra yards.
Bulldogs on the move. Right now parked at the Yellow Jacket 25-yard line. Handoff up the middle. Foster has it. Little quick hitter. That 21 dive to the fullback. Tendichit helping out on the tackle, and it's a 5-yard gain for Foster. 2nd down and 5 coming up. I have this update from Estrella Foothills. The Lobos scored a touchdown. Snowflake scored a touchdown. They were trailing 14-6. They scored a touchdown. They missed the 2-point conversion, and the ensuing kickoff was run back by Estrella Foothills for a touchdown. So Estrella leads Snowflake 21-12 in that second half at Estrella. And here at Blue Ridge High School, Winslow with the ball at the 20-yard line. Handoff to Darian Brown. Brown went right with it, off tackle right, and he got knocked down for a yard loss on the play. So 3rd down and 6 now coming up.
And Winslow moving the ball very effectively. They got good hard runners. The linemen are creating that opening gap that allows that guy to get through and at least get 2 or 3 yards, and then they're dragging the Blue Ridge players for another couple yards.
Winslow quarterback back to throw. That's Ray Velez, and he's able to release the ball on contact. Took a big hit. The ball was knocked up into the air, and one of the Yellow Jacket players, I think, got his air knocked out. Tristan Johnson is going to come up. Aiken, a lot of pain.
Holding his left arm. It looks like he's already got a brace on it.
Stinger area.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right about that. I thought he might be holding his bread basket, but Johnson, it looks like that left arm doesn't look like he can feel anything. He's that thing's just kind of hanging there.
Yeah.
Offside on the defense, and he might have been the guy called because he keeps looking over here at the sideline, and they're not sending anybody for him. Somebody got called. That's the Blue Ridge defense. 5-yard penalty, should be 4th down and about a foot to go. Something like that.
The flag is against Blue Ridge.
That's a tough break for the Yellow Jackets. You had them 4th and 5, and now you got them 4th and 6 inches. Good opportunity to stop, and then you make a mental error like that that just kind of shoots you in the foot.
2 minutes and 6 seconds on the clock here, third period. Winslow 12, Blue Ridge 6, and the Bulldogs are marching with it. They get the ball inside the 15-yard line. Ray Velez, the backup quarterback, is out on the field, and he got 2 yards on that quarterback sneak. That was enough for the first down. That offside penalty a moment ago really hurt the Yellow Jackets, and it gives Winslow first down in the red zone there at the Blue Ridge 14-yard line. Want to give a shout out to one of my Roadrunner homies, Sam Davenport, listening to this broadcast on the radio. Big Sam, here's the give to C.J. Chacon. Look at him go with it. Doesn't want to go down inside the 10-yard line. And so many times as you progress, you start getting late into the second half, what you see is Blue Ridge wearing down the opponent. And right now it looks like what you're seeing is Winslow wearing down Blue Ridge, something you just aren't used to. That was a 6-yard gain by Chacon on the play.
Yeah, Blue Ridge got some guys hobbling. They just brought Tristan Johnson out, but in for him, they put one of the DeGeneth brothers, and he was limping going in. So you're bringing a guy in that's limping for a guy coming out that's holding his arm and can't move it. So depth, I think, is an issue for the Yellow Jackets this year.
It's the walking wounded for sure. Here's the pitch. Akeem Foster right side, cuts it back, and he got inside the 5-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 9. It was Coy London who brought him down. The spot is actually the 5-yard line, so the Yellow Jackets get a break on the spot. 4-yard gain for Foster on the play. But once again, Winslow moving the football pretty well. Third down and very short coming up. Got to get to the 4-yard line. Ball just inside the 5, so less than a yard to go. A moment ago in very short situation, we saw Velez, the quarterback, go with a sneak, and he goes again on the sneak, and he's got it, and he's got the push, and he is down to about the 2-yard line. Got a great push from his offensive line. He got 3 yards out of it. And this Bulldog team now seems they're the guys getting that push off the line. I want to check in with SportsZone123.com's Derek Simmons, a timeout on the field. And Derek, I was mentioning a moment ago, when you get late into the game for Blue Ridge, traditionally that's when the Yellow Jackets start to wear that other team down and start to push them around, start to dominate the trenches, the line of scrimmage. We get down to the final play of this third period. Time running out. But Derek, it seems like it's the Bulldogs who are doing that very thing to the Yellow Jackets.
Absolutely, and that doesn't do it as much justice as we're seeing here on the field, especially me at field level. The Yellow Jackets are dragging. I mean, all 11 guys on the field are dragging right now. They're beat up. There have been numerous occasions where guys have come off the field for injury-related purposes, and right now, looking at the 2-yard line pushing in, these Yellow Jackets are clearly in need of a blow.
Well, the fourth quarter going to get underway in just a moment. We'll take this break and come back with the start of the fourth. Winslow on the march and with the lead, 12-6 over Blue Ridge. Stand by, everybody. The Power 95.7 Game of the Week, presented by Hatch Toyota. And now he is going to give it on the 2-point try to Akeem Foster from the fullback spot. Foster gets hit immediately, get knocked down. And so it won't go, it doesn't count. But just like that, Winslow has tacked on another touchdown. And they lead 18-6 here as the fourth quarter gets underway. The very first play of the fourth period is a Bulldog touchdown. Ray Velez doing the duty from 2 yards out. That was a 60-yard drive. But more importantly for the Bulldogs, they were able to take off 4 minutes and 13 seconds of clock. Their previous drive was just under 3 minutes, so they burned up a lot of clock in that third quarter. And not only that, but were able to get some points on the board. Their second half touchdown, the Bulldogs lead 18-6.
Yeah, Bulldogs have actually played a very, very good second half so far. They've moved the ball well. They haven't coughed up the ball. We haven't seen a fumble in this half yet, I don't believe. So they've actually started hanging on to the ball and done a very, very good job moving the ball. They've also kept Blue Ridge on their heels and stopped Blue Ridge from getting any yardage or getting any momentum going. Bulldogs have just played a really solid second half so far.
The Bulldogs have only had the 2 possessions here since halftime, and they have made the most of both opportunities, turning them into touchdowns. Here's a bit of a squib kick by the Bulldogs, goes out of bounds, far side. Marker comes out, that's a procedure penalty anytime you kick it out of bounds. And the opponent has the opportunity of making you re-kick or taking it at the 35, and the Yellow Jackets bring the offense out, so you know they're going to take the ball at the 35-yard line, and that's where it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. Can Spencer Hall get his offense in gear? He led this Yellow Jacket team as a junior to a state championship, and what a great run it was for him and this team last year. Completely unexpected. They were able to capture a championship, but this time around the season is Boy, it's a rough start for Blue Ridge, and Spencer back to throw. Pass incomplete, knocked down at the line of scrimmage by one of those defensive linemen. Blue Ridge came out with a single setback and double slots, but nothing doing on first down. It's incomplete. Second down on the way.
No, the other thing we're seeing, Floyd, is the Winslow secondary actually doing a very, very good job on their coverage out there. There's really no guys wide open. Spencer's having a difficulty finding a guy to hit, taking a little more time than he wants to. Winslow just doing a good job all the way around.
You're going to drop deep to throw, a man wide open. Pass complete. That's Tenejit, who gets driven out of bounds with a Yellow Jacket first down in Winslow territory. Something to cheer about for the Yellow Jacket fans. They get 19 yards before C.J. Chacon is able to drive Tenejit out of bounds. And there are two Tenejits on the roster wearing jersey 7. This one that made the catch is Jared Tenejit. And a 19-yard pickup. First down for the Yellow Jackets, and boy, one of the very few bright spots in a while for the Yellow Jacket offense. 1st and 10 at the Winslow 46-yard line. Stretch play, handoff, made Miles, and he is just buried in the backfield. The Winslow defensive line doing a lot of what their offensive line is doing. They're just controlling the line of scrimmage, and it's a 4-yard loss on the play for Miles.
Well, and as we looked at the first half, we talked about it a little bit where that battle on the line was pretty tough in the first half, but now, like you said, Winslow is just taking ownership of that line offensively and defensively, and Blue Ridge isn't having a lot to do with it.
Well, Nate's having a decent day running, 12 carries for 79 yards and a touchdown, but the Yellow Jackets need something big out of him. And soon, double slots, single setback behind Spencer Hall is Nate Miles. Dump it to Miles, he's got it. And Miles gets a yard. That's it, 1 yard to pick up on the play before one of those linebackers makes the stop for the Bulldogs. The guy on the stop, Sheldon Smith, tracking him down. Miles got a yard out of it. But again, that defensive line with a lot of pressure on Spencer. He just couldn't get set up to do anything. And the completion only nets that 1 yard.
Yeah, Austin Maddox comes off the right side, puts a lot of pressure and actually hit Spencer Hall right after he released it. He was lucky to get it out of his hands, but great play by that defensive end there for Winslow.
They're down 13 for the Yellow Jacket offense. Spencer Hall, again, a lot of pressure. Try to run it, and he gets buried. He took a big hit upstairs. Akeem Foster kind of got him right up around the chin strap with a knee, but Spencer bounces up. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't a malicious play. 2-yard gain is all for Spencer on that one. And the Yellow Jackets just cannot put it together offensively. They got that 19-yard pass play a moment ago.
No,
but not much going on elsewise.
No, the thing that you're seeing is you got a young, inexperienced line, not real quick, and Winslow is just out hustling them right now. I think our line's just, Blue Ridge's line is just tired, and they're just not getting it done.
Yellow Jackets line up shotgun, bad snap, and it's on the ground. Still on the ground, and Winslow covers it up at the Yellow Jacket 40-yard line. Bad snap. And there was some confusion between Spencer and the running back near him. Neither one of them were going for it, so at the last second, Spencer had to bat the ball away, which he did, but there was nobody around to recover it except a Bulldog defender. And Winslow has the ball and the momentum and everything going Winslow's way. They've got the 12-point lead, and the Yellow Jackets are in 50 shades of trouble here in this second half. 9:26 left to play in the game. Bulldogs have the ball at the Yellow Jacket 40-yard line.
Yellow Jackets need to dig a little bit deep right now here and figure out a way to stop the Bulldogs. This game is pretty close to being out of hand right now.
C.J. Chacon is going to get the ball here on this first carry of the possession for the Bulldogs. Coy London brings him down. But 5 yards is the pickup for Chacon on that last play. This is only the third possession of the second half for Winslow, but look where they've had the ball. In the second half, their first possession, they got the ball at the Yellow Jacket 45-yard line, took that in for a touchdown. Second possession began at the Yellow Jacket 40-yard line, scored a touchdown on that drive. And this drive, their third time to have it in the second half, begins at the Yellow Jacket 40-yard line. Is there a theme here? Give on second down nets 2 yards on that last play for the Bulldogs.
Well, you can't really give any team great field position and expect to be able to stop them every time they're coming up. Blue Ridge is gassed right now. You can see most of the guys are limping around, one injury here or another, and they're going to have to battle this last 8 minutes just to keep Winslow out of the end zone.
They're down at 3 coming up. Those, you talk about being gassed. Look at those Yellow Jacket defensive linemen on one knee. You just don't see. That's just not a Blue Ridge tradition. You don't see it. Velez to throw for Winslow. Pass complete. Sideline move, and this one goes inside the 10-yard line. Wow. When it rains, it pours. Avalar, the fullback, hauled in the pass, and he is knocked down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be first down and goal coming up for the Bulldog offense.
Avalar wide open there. Great play by the Bulldogs. Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets had 4 guys all within about 5 yards, but they didn't have one guy close enough to do anything about it. 23-yard gain on the play. They'll actually spot it down at the 10-yard line, and it's not first and goal. Well, no, it is. It is first and goal. First and goal, the ball spotted at the 10. False start on the near side tackle. He moved early for Winslow. So that will move it back 5, but it's still going to be at the 15-yard line. And the Bulldogs, again, with the momentum, doing everything right. The play calls are working. You got the backup quarterback out there from Winslow right now completing passes and moving the offense. And the Yellow Jackets unable to get the job done defensively, unable to move the ball effectively on offense. And they find themselves down right now 2 touchdowns. 18-6 with 8:03 left in the game. Now there's a lot of time, but the Yellow Jackets have got to make a stand right here. Confusion. Velez tried to pitch it, now keeps it, takes a big hit on the near sideline. He got some yardage back from what was lost on the penalty a moment ago. Coy London was one of those defensively who came up to make the stop for the Yellow Jacket. For the Yellow Jacket defense, Warren Goklish also making the stop. Hey, I coached Warren years ago in youth basketball. He weighs 250 pounds. I never would have guessed that back in those days when I coached him. Wow. How do you like that? That was a 5-yard gain on the play by Velez. And that's a tough break for the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets. They had him in the backfield about 5 yards deep and just missed the tackle. Tried to wrap him up.
Broken play.
Forearm tackle and weren't able to shut him down.
Velez gives it to C.J. Chacon, and Chacon was hit in the backfield, but the defender did not wrap up. And look at this, Adam Padilla, one of those defensive linemen for the Yellow Jackets. He comes up hobbling up after that play. He is hurt. One of his legs not working. Timeout on the field. Timeout taken by the official. They want to get Adam Padilla off the field, and they're going to do it. He's going to come out of the game slowly to the sideline. The guy that replaces him is Ryan Eccles, a junior, will come in on that defensive line. That, again, another big loss. If you're going to lose somebody, number 89, Adam Padilla, is not the guy to lose for the Yellow Jackets. So they're struggling with numbers. They're struggling. Guys hurt. I'm looking at Nate Miles out there, the corner on the left side, who looks to have a shoulder issue. He's working that shoulder. Wow, this Blue Ridge team is dinged up. Velez to throw into the end zone. Pass is batted away and then almost caught by the offensive player. It was a good defensive play, but he batted the ball in the direction of the receiver. It is incomplete, but again, that one almost went for Winslow.
That's the old tip drill, and the receiver wasn't able to catch it and bring it down. Good defensive play to get up there, but you got to bring that ball down with you, not leave it up in the air.
Is this another player coming off the field for the Yellow Jackets hurt? Somebody else coming to the sideline. Ah, goodness. So after that incomplete pass, a timeout is called out on the field. 7:27 left to play. It's Winslow 18, Blue Ridge 6. The Bulldogs facing 4th down and goal to go from the 8-yard line when we return. Stand by. The Power 95.7 Game of the Week presented by Hatch Toyota. Hey, the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets defensively make stop on 4th and goal from the 8-yard line. The quarterback, Ray Velez, rolling out to throw, and Julio Rangel, a sophomore, into the game for the Yellow Jackets, is able to sack the quarterback all the way out at the 22-yard line. So it ends up being a loss of 14 yards on the play. More than that, Winslow gives it up on downs to the Yellow Jackets, and can they do something with this bit of defensive momentum that they generate? We'll see. Blue Ridge with the football. They're on 22-yard line. Spencer Hall to throw, dumps it, and that's number 25, Nate Miles, and he trips up. I mean, it ends up being a very, very small gain. What, maybe a yard on the play? Maybe 2 yards? They're going to put him down at the 23. So a yard pickup on that pass play. And the turf comes into play on that play. I got to believe that Miles would have turned that upfield for a pretty nice gain if he didn't slip. 2nd down 9 coming up. 6:42 to play. 2-touchdown game. Pass complete. Near side, and the receiver stays inbounds for the Yellow Jackets. On the receiving end was no, it wasn't. It was Zach Meixler. Meixler makes the catch. 5-yard pickup on the play. 3rd down and 4 coming up.
Floyd, this drive is critical for Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets. They've got to move the ball. They've got to move it quick. They need 2 scores to win this game. They've got to do something on this drive.
Shotgun, double slot. Spencer Hall has it, and he has to dump it off again to Nate Miles, and he is knocked down in the backfield. A big loss on the play. Avilar, from his linebacker spot, sniffed it out, came in, and the loss will put the ball back at the 20-yard line. Ouch, that's a loss on the play of, well, I think that's a 6-yard loss. No, it isn't. It's an 8-yard loss. And for the Yellow Jackets, going the wrong way. Spencer Hall just doesn't have time to set up. He's getting so much pressure, doesn't have time to set up and look downfield to attempt to pass that way. And now the Yellow Jackets are a man short. On 4th down and 13, they got the punt team out there with 5:23 left. This will be the last time they could punt the ball. They got to punt it, make a stop, get it back, and make something happen. Now here, they finally get somebody out on the field. They got to get rid of it quickly. Line drive punt. Goes out of bounds at about the 40-yard line of Winslow. Let's see where they spot the ball out. They're going to say right at the Winslow 40-yard line. So the Bulldogs in this half, they've had the ball 3 times, and every time they've gotten possession of the ball, they've got it inside Yellow Jacket territory. At the 45-yard line the first time, and then at the 40, exactly the 40, every time since. All 3 times since. Wow. You're not going to win too many football games doing that to yourself.
No, just great field position, and Winslow really needs to go back to the run. They tried to pass the last couple times and just weren't getting anywhere.
The Bulldogs going to carry the ball for what looks like close to a 1st down on the first play of the game. Who carried the ball, do we know?
That was number 30. That was
CJ?
CJ.
Chacon with the ball and the carry for 10 yards. He's having a, I'm sorry, it was not Chacon. It was Darian Brown carrying the football. Brown, the freshman, 7 carries, 16 yards. Yeah, very pedestrian. Single setback. Chacon goes in motion. They give it to Avilar, the fullback, and look at him go. That's not Avilar. I'm sorry. That's Akeem Foster. And Foster, who gets hit at the line of scrimmage, broke a tackle, and then went to the house with it. 30-yard touchdown run for Akeem Foster to basically put this one out of reach.
Yeah, and the Winslow Bulldogs ran the ball very, very effectively here in this second half. Blue Ridge has not been able to do anything to stop them. The only time they did stop them in that last series is when they tried to roll out, throw a couple passes, get it into the end zone, put it back on the ground, and you couldn't stop them.
Point after try is up and good, but the kick won't count because it's going to be a 5-yard illegal procedure penalty against the Bulldogs. They're going to have to kick again.
Yeah, they were trying to run in a number 11 guy and park him before they snapped the ball. It didn't happen.
So moving back 5, kick it again. See if they can make this one. Bulldogs have a This is amazing to say. At Yellow Jacket Stadium, Winslow has a 25-6 lead because the kick is good. Another marker down way after the play. So I believe this will go on the kick. We'll check it out in a moment. 4:35 left to play. I'm going to wave off the flag. It's Winslow 25, Blue Ridge 6. Stand by, everybody. The kick on the way. The Power 95-7 Game of the Week presented by Hatch Toyota.
Triple threat high school sports coverage. Radio, TV, internet. Only at Power 95.7.
Using to give the Yellow Jackets a chance to run back a kick. Will boot it out of bounds like we've seen them do. That's just part of the plan. Either that or the trying to kick a square toe kick with a round toe shoe just keeps not working. It's a procedure penalty. And the Yellow Jackets are going to have the ball at their own 35-yard line to begin a new series. Let's see. Let's look at the Yellow Jackets going back. Their possessions here in this half, they look something like this. The first time they got the ball to start the half, they're on 25-yard line. It was a 3-and-out. Then they got the ball and moved it down the field pretty good, but were forced to punt and gave up a 91-yard punt return for a touchdown. And then the Yellow Jackets threw an interception on their next possession. Then the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets were able to move the ball a little bit and into Winslow territory before fumbling on the following possession. Then it was 3-and-out. Just been a bad second half for this Yellow Jacket team. And now on first down, Spencer Hall trying to throw back across the field. Throws incomplete. And timeout. Timeout taken Blue Ridge with 4:29 left to play. And Winslow a 25-6 lead. We'll take a radio timeout. The Power 95.7 Hot FM Game of the Week is presented by Hatch Toyota.
With the Bulldogs ahead 25-6.
Will line their team up on second down, 2nd and 10, and quickly a defensive penalty. Somebody lined up in the neutral zone. That's encroachment, but I like to say offside because I'm an old school guy. I don't like the term encroachment. Is that okay?
That's okay, because I'm an old school guy too.
Offside, defense.
Offside.
2nd down 5 coming up. Man in motion. Spencer Hall to throw from the shotgun. Has time. Now it just fell apart. Had time for a moment. But look at the coverage downfield. This Winslow defense they're just blanketing those receivers. Spencer couldn't find anybody, and then the pocket went away. 8-yard loss on the quarterback sack. And that'll bring up 3rd down and a long way to go. 3rd down and 13 for the Yellow Jacket offense, and 13 is a long way for this offense tonight. Hey, Rich, let me give an update from Estrella Foothills, where the Snowflake Lobos are playing. There's a great game going on there. I mentioned a while ago that Estrella had run a snowflake kickoff back to get a 21-12 lead. Moments later, the Lobos scored a touchdown to make it 21-20. And then Kurt Wood for Snowflake scooped up a fumble and ran it back. A scoop and score, took it in for a touchdown. The 2-point conversion by the Lobos was good, and now Snowflake leads Estrella Foothills 28-21 in that game with 5:20 left. So congratulations to Snowflake on battling back against Estrella and grabbing that lead. And we'll get you an update on the Sholo game here in a bit. Don't forget, coming up after play-by-play tonight, the Ace Hardware Scoreboard Show, the show the coaches call the Scores and Highlights Show. That's coming up tonight. It'll stretch on into your evening. We'll do it live here from Blue Ridge High School. Down on the field, incomplete pass for the Yellow Jackets. And here comes the punt team. They have resigned this game to the books. A Yellow Jacket punt that gets downed at the Winslow 34-yard line. And the Yellow Jackets are just going to hope that no more damage occurs in the final 3 minutes and 26 seconds of this one. Winslow, the ball at their own 34-yard line. For the Bulldogs, I mean, just they have earned the right to celebrate, haven't they?
Absolutely. Bulldogs have played a very good game tonight. You know, over the years, B.J. Little years ago was the defensive coordinator, and I always thought he put a good game plan against the Blue Ridge Yellow Jackets. He's always done well with his defense, but his offense tonight has come out, moved the ball well. He's got some good hard-nosed runners that move the ball well. We've seen him. I'm going to say if we take away some of the penalties and things like that, I'm going to bet that their average is real close to 5 yards a run with the running backs for the Winslow Bulldogs. So Winslow Bulldogs have done a nice job tonight moving the ball, good hard-nosed running. I like Foster. He runs well. He runs hard. And all the other runners have done really, really well as well. Chacon, a great runner with great breakaway speed once he gets through the line. So,
well, Darian Brown is going to get a second down carry for the Bulldogs. A moment ago, Chacon got 3 yards on first down. Now on second down and 7. Darian Brown will carry the ball to near the yard marker, near the yardage necessary for a first down, but it looks like he is just going to be that short. No, they're going to measure. For the first time today, a measurement.
Yeah.
Call it a gain of 7 on the play for Brown. And we'll check out what's going on the sideline with SportsZone123.com's Derek Simmons down on the field. It has not been a pleasant night for the Yellow Jackets. It has not been a Yellow Jackets kind of night. And what's the mood like on that sideline?
It's something that I've never seen actually in the White Mountains. I mean, especially when you talk about Blue Ridge, these guys are usually pretty upbeat. Although you wouldn't maybe see it from the stands, but from down here on the sidelines, there's always an attitude about the Yellow Jackets that is definitely not here tonight. And as we head into the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter, these guys they're drained, and I think they're ready to hit the showers and head home.
Hey, Derek, is it fair to say that maybe some of what we're seeing is also confusion? It's just not what they're used to?
I suppose that could be it, but I think a lot of it has to do with injuries. These guys have just been beat up tonight.
Derek Simmons on the sideline, SportsZone123.com. Here's the stretch play, handoff. C.J. Chacon just will not quit fighting. And he gains yardage into Yellow Jacket territory. A pickup on this play of 11 yards for Chacon. First down for the Bulldogs. Chacon's day, now 72 yards rushing to lead Winslow. First down play, line of scrimmage. The Yellow Jacket 45-yard line, 2 minutes and 24 seconds left to play. The Bulldogs are going to take a lot of time in the huddle. Just try to run this clock out. And the Bulldog team and their head coach, B.J. Little, classy people.
Well, I was going to say, I think
they're not going to try to bury a team.
No.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to step
on.
Oh,
no problem. I was looking at it. They just called. I'm not sure what the call was on. They called it on Winslow, but Blue Ridge hadn't even completed a substitution yet. They still had 12 guys on the field. So I was thinking that's where the penalty was going to come from, but Winslow's done a great job. Blue Ridge, I think everybody's waiting for the clock to tick down. I think Blue Ridge wants it to end as much as anybody does right now.
Yeah, they really
even
want
the
it to
fans
end.
up here are wishing for it to be over.
Well, there was a 5-yard penalty a moment ago. Now a handoff to Akeem Foster, and Foster will carry the ball after that penalty for 6 yards to the Yellow Jacket 44-yard line, and that's where he is brought down. So 2nd down and 9 coming up for the the Bulldog offense. 1:40 left to play in this one. It's Winslow 25, Blue Ridge 6. The Yellow Jackets are going to open this season 0-3. It's amazing. 0-3. Here's a give to Darian Brown. Left side, Brown's got a first down. And more inside the Yellow Jacket 30-yard line. Wow. Wow, the spirit is broken for the Yellow Jackets. I've never really seen it. I mean, it's the changing of the guard, and you name the whole thing. There's a 15-yard pickup on that play for a freshman running back, Darian Brown. And he goes out of bounds to stop the clock with 1:23 left to play. Listen, the scoring might not be over. Did you find the phone? Did you get it? We had a phone fumble. Okay, I better not say anything. Okay, I'm shushing. Yeah, I just got shushed. Did you see that?
I saw you guys shushed.
I got shushed on a national broadcast. We have millions of listeners out there, and I'm getting shushed. Shows you how important I am. They're going to wind the clock and get it going down to 1:17 and counting down. We'll be down to 1:10 here, and the Bulldogs are going to line up the punt team. Victory formation. They got a first down a moment ago. On 1st and 12, don't ask me how we ended up with 1st and 12. The Bulldogs are going to take a knee. Velez, the backup quarterback, is out there. He takes a knee, going to have to snap it one more time. 47 seconds left to play in the game, and here go the dejected Yellow Jacket fans. I'm going to give the Blue Ridge fans a lot of credit because
they hung around.
When this game was not in doubt, yeah, they hung around, Rich, but they made a lot of noise. And now listen to the fans out on the far side. Listen to those Winslow fans. And look at the Bulldog players as they snap the ball with 23 seconds. Final snap of the game. They're celebrating almost like they've won a championship. When you come in and win a game at Blue Ridge and you do it especially like this, that's a huge deal. And for the Bulldogs, this will go down in one of the – these kids will remember that win for a long, long time. Wow. 25-6.
Winslow put together a great game plan, everything else. Blue Ridge is just not ready yet, and I'm sure we'll talk about that and get into that a whole lot more later. But I do give kudos to Winslow. They put together a great defensive game plan, really shut down Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge wasn't able to get any more than about 4 or 5 first downs throughout the whole game. Winslow came out, got some good hard-nosed runners. Really liked what I saw out of the Winslow running game. Passing game needs a little bit of work, but the running game, heck, if they can move the ball like that, they're going to have a good season on them.
This is the other thing that I thought was notable for Winslow. After their starting quarterback went down, he was injured in the first half, came back from that, but then in the second half went down again and really wasn't out there for most of the second half. And despite that, that Bulldog offense was very effective and kept on going. And he just kept on going, and you got to give him a lot of credit. And that speaks to the coaching staff and the program that's been built by B.J. Little at Winslow. And they get the win tonight. Final score 25-6. The Bulldogs hand the Yellow Jackets their 3rd loss of this campaign. And the Blue Ridge team still trying to find themselves. Stand by, everybody. The Cable One postgame wrap-up coming up in a moment. This is the Power 95.7 Hot FM Game of the Week, presented by Hatch Toyota. Back in a bit.
Triple Threat High School sports coverage. Radio, TV, internet. Only at Power 95.7.